Have you ever felt like your own opinions are just taking a back seat? You really want to speak up, but something just holds you back. Maybe it's that fear of starting a fight, or maybe you just don't want to disappoint anyone. It's a super common struggle, and it gets right to the heart of what we're going to talk about today, assertiveness.
Okay, let's be real for a second. Does this sound familiar? Your boss piles another project on your desk, or a friend asks for a huge favor you absolutely do not have time for, and you hear yourself saying, "Sure, no problem," but inside you're just screaming, "No!" You know that feeling, right? That little knot in your stomach? That comes from how incredibly hard it can be to just draw a line and say, "That's my boundary." But why is it so hard?
Well, to really get to the bottom of this, it helps to picture our communication styles on a kind of spectrum. This isn't just about being shy or being loud, it's way deeper. It's about how we try to balance what we need with what everyone else around us needs.
And here it is, laid out perfectly. So on one end, you've got the passive style. That's where you tend to let other people call the shots, often at your own expense. Then, way over on the other end, you've got the aggressive style. Now, you might get what you want, but it's usually because you're steamrolling over people to get it. And right there, smack in the middle, that's our goal. That's the assertive style. It's that balanced path where you can express your needs while still respecting everyone else.
So, let's dig into what assertiveness actually is. It's a word we hear all the time, right? But what it really means is pretty powerful. And honestly, it can be totally liberating once you get it. I love this definition from Alberti and Emmons, who were real pioneers in this stuff. It's just so clear because it nails the two most important parts. First, it's about acting in your own best interests. But, and this is the absolute key, it's doing that without stomping on the rights of others. See? It's not about winning, it's about finding a respectful, honest way to just say what's true for you.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in day-to-day life? Well, according to psychologist Arnold Lazarus, it really boils down to four main things. The first, and maybe the biggest, is just the ability to say no. Then there's the flip side, the ability to ask for things, to make requests. Third is being able to express your feelings, both the good and the bad. And finally, it's having the ability to start, carry on, and even end a conversation. It's all about being an active, honest player in your own life.
To really feel the power of being assertive, it really helps to look at the other options. So let's put those two extremes, passive and aggressive, right next to each other. Because understanding what assertiveness isn't is just as important as knowing what it is. This table just makes the difference so stark, doesn't it? For the passive person, the goal is just please others, avoid a fight. For the aggressive person, it's win at all costs. And look at how that makes you feel. Anxious and powerless on one side, guilty or alienated on the other. And think about how other people react. They're either irritated with you or they pity you, versus feeling humiliated and wanting revenge. In the end, what's the outcome? Somebody's rights get violated. It's a lose-lose situation every time. Just a question of who's losing.
And this is exactly why finding that assertive middle ground is such a game changer. It's not just about talking better. It's about creating genuinely better outcomes for you and for the people in your life. I mean, the benefits here really speak for themselves. When you start communicating assertively, your self-esteem gets a boost because you're finally honoring what you need. Your anxiety goes down because you're not bottling everything up or walking on eggshells anymore. That leads to way more authentic, honest relationships. And, no surprise, makes it so much more likely you'll actually hit your own goals.
So it all just comes back to this one simple idea. Assertiveness is the skill of balancing what you need with empathy and respect for the people around you. It's that sweet spot right between being a doormat and being a bulldozer.
Okay, so let's talk about the last piece of the puzzle. This is the foundation that makes all of this other stuff possible. Because before you can act assertively, you have to truly believe that you have the right to. And honestly, for a lot of people, this is a huge mental shift. This isn't about being entitled or demanding. It's about recognizing that you walk into every single conversation with a set of basic, fundamental rights, and so does the other person.
I want you to just take a second and really let these sink in. You have the right to say no without a mountain of guilt. You have the right to ask for what you want. You have the right to make a mistake, and you even have the right to choose not to be assertive sometimes. These aren't just rules. Think of them as permissions that you give yourself. They're the absolute building blocks of self-respect. Because if you don't believe you have these rights, then trying to act on them feels impossible, like you're breaking some secret social contract. Really internalizing this list, that's the real first step to finding your voice.
So that brings us to the end, and I really want to leave you with this question. It doesn't have to be some big, dramatic confrontation. Not at all.
Maybe it's just speaking up about what you want for dinner, or saying no to a tiny request, or even just giving someone a genuine, honest compliment. So think about it. What is one small, assertive step you can take today?